Aloha, I am Sarah Wakana and I did my project on global climate change and sea level rise in Tonga. So Tonga, officially the Kingdom of Tonga, is an archipelago that includes 177 islands spread out over 270,000 square miles, resulting in a wide range of natural conditions on each island. It has always been politically independent, never losing its sovereignty to a foreign power. Though 171 of the islands are named, only 36 of the islands are permanently inhabited. Six of these larger islands contain 90% of the population. Tonga Tapu is the largest island, which occupies the largest portion of the country's population, at about 70%. The capital is Nuku'alofa, which is the center for socio-economic activities. And the total population of Tonga is a little over 100,000. So, geology of Tonga. The Tongan archipelago is actually comprised of two parallel chains of islands caused by different geologic activity. So this one and this one. Okay. The Western Islands, these ones, are all volcanic in origin, caused by the subduction of the westward moving Pacific Plate under the Australia-India Plate. So this is the Pacific Plate, Australia-India Plate. This plate is subducting under this one. This is the Tonga Trench, where that happens, and we all learned about how island arc systems are made, so that these are all about the same age geologically. And the eastern islands here are raised coral islands founded on older volcanic substrates. Human inhabitants usually populate these or populate the larger of these coral islands in this chain. Coral reefs, mangrove forests, lagoons, and sandy beaches are the major types of coastal ecosystems in Tonga. Global climate change and sea level rise. It is clear that human influence on the climate system has been the dominant cause of global warming. The atmospheric concentrations of carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide have increased to levels unprecedented in at least the last 800,000 years. Over the period of 1901 to 2010, global mean sea level rose by 0.19 meters and will continue to rise. Only substantial and sustained reductions of greenhouse gas emissions could mitigate effects. Likely, the effects will persist for many centuries. Ooh. So, small island nations are, sorry about that. Small island nations are the most vulnerable to sea level rise. Freshwater resources would be vulnerable to climate change and sea level rise. The main source of water on Tonga is either rainwater, catchment systems, or a thin lens of fresh water located in the porous limestone strata. The size of the groundwater resource is proportionate to the size of the island. During times of low rainfall, lenses tend to shrink and are easily intruded by salt water and mixed. And we watched a video earlier this semester that articulated how scarcity, human pollution, and lack of sewage treatment plants were major issues with the freshwater resource in Tonga. All land in Tonga are crown lands, shared by the royal family, nobility, and the government. The Act of 1882 allotted every Tongan male over 16 years of age the right to land for farming and residence. With increasing population and urbanization, all available agriculture and town lands were used up, causing people to be allocated increasingly marginal lands for housing and agriculture, farming in wet and saline conditions, and building houses at risk for flood during storm surges. Most of the urban area of Nuku'alofa has an elevation between 0.5 and 1.5 meters, and many parts of the city are below 0.5 meters in elevation. So this map here shows the largest residential areas, and this here shows that most of those areas would be underwater during flooding and inundation. Inundation risk. So this first chart shows the amount of the population at risk if up to 4 meters above high water level is inundated. So high water level is about 1 meter. So 4 meters above that would be like 5 meters. So sea level rise coupled with tropical cyclones could cause inundation at these higher levels. Yeah, so we're up to the 4 meter could be affected, and you can see that that would be about 63% of the population could be affected during a storm surge in a cyclone event, in the event of a cyclone. This lower chart here, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, Working Group 1, offered some different scenarios of future sea level changes. The lower being a 0.3 meter rise by 2100, I don't know how to, the year of 2100. And the higher one being 1 meter, a 1 meter rise by 2100. In both these charts, it shows the most significant values. Oh, this chart and this chart affected are the populations. Yeah, those are the ones that really affect you. Other effects of sea level rise in Tonga include inundated or flooded farmland, resulting in higher moisture loading and increased salinization, reducing suitability for agriculture, increasing coastal erosion, like shown in this picture here, where the coast has eroded out from under the tree back up to the road. Also, there would be a loss of outlying islands and low-lying areas, as well as fisheries important to subsistence would also be affected. Careful land use planning is essential to respond to the vulnerability of Tonga to sea level rise. And that's pretty much the end. Thank you.